Okay, welcome to the bet. You're catching me in kind of a pissy mood because I've just realized that not once and not twice, but three times that I have recorded my other podcast, Useful Thinking, for whatever reason, even though I'm like double checking it, the microphone isn't working. It's picking up a different microphone in the room. And so it sounds like I'm in some echo chamber. And it's a very long episode. And now I've got to re record it yet again. And it's Sunday evening and I just want to be done. And I realized I still have to do my monthly check in for the bet, which I don't even really want to do. But I'm going to show up and do it. The good news is nobody's really listening to this. No one is listening to this. I just went and pulled all the stats for July. I think we're at 1,379 downloads since I started this whole project. And in the month of July, it was like 130 or 140, something. I forget the exact number right now. I'm actually really, 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 really happy nobody's listening to this because I was thinking about this the other day. It's like, what am I going to do? I've got 1 month left. Am I going to do this again? And I thought, I really see there's value in putting something out there publicly, but there's also not. It's made me feel like I owe people explanations for things, even though I'm just documenting this myself. I don't know. I'll talk about it next month when we're wrapping up the whole year. I'll iron out all my feelings then, but let's just get this episode done so I can tell myself that I did the shit that I said I was going to do. I've held myself accountable and I've showed up and done it. Okay, so the bet, like I said, we have 1,379 total downloads. Useful Thinking in its fourth month, this was a big turnaround. Okay, so we are at 755 downloads for Useful Thinking. And if you remember from last month's check-in, I was in a little mini meltdown about how the numbers kept dropping. So I launched that in April, where I had 208 downloads in April. In May, it dropped, right? And then we went to like 150 downloads. And then in June, it dropped again to like 107. So it was going down by like 50% every month. So July, we had a turnaround. It was 40% higher than the biggest month I had, which was the very first month we launched. So I don't know why that was. I don't know if it was because I made a pivot and doubled down on being fully authentic for that podcast. I don't know if it's because I got over my little hoo-ha over talking about human design and just started going for it with that. I am not sure. We'll see what it brings. Like, we'll see what next month. Ugh. Can you tell, guys? I'm so tired. I'm so tired. I want to be done recording. Okay. I've got a crystal in my hand. I'm trying to charge myself up. I'm trying to tell myself, have positive energy here. Do not put out negative juju into this world. This is your chance to show up and be excited about it, even though it's not how you feel. As I was going to say, we will see what August brings and if that trend continues. But I was very, very, very happy to see things turn around. And I'm so glad I didn't quit. Like, how many people quit just based on what a graph shows them? So Instagram, not as great of a story here. My views went down to 5,400 after a month. Last month was 11,000. And my content was also about half of what I produced last month. I was down to 24 pieces. I will say that of the 5,400 views, 1,100 and something of them came from one reel. If that tells you anything. And I said last month that I was getting this content program and I started working through that. And that was the first reel I put out following my new content plan, where I just, again, I got over myself in terms of talking in a certain way or using certain hooks or giving people information that I thought was too basic. So that again was interesting. Between the two reels I've put out since I started that content plan, I think that's something like 1,600 views just between those two reels. So if I can get my ass consistent with doing this thing, we'll see what August brings. That is what I will say. It's a lot of effort right now to make content for me. I feel like all of my energy is going into making content. I'm also at the last week of the quarter. This week coming up, starting tomorrow, is going to be a killer week. And then I've got some breathing room. So maybe I'll get my stockpile of content back up. I feel like I'm also not in as a creative of a flow as I have been recently. I think probably because I've been working so hard at the university and also trying to consume all of this material for this content program that I'm in. It's a lot of material to consume. Okay, back to Instagram. Let's see, 22 new followers this month. It's about the same as last month. Substack, 5 new subscribers, and we're up to 115 followers. It's not a whole lot of growth this month on that either. My 30-day views are up to 497 views of my article, so that was good. That's up by over 60 views from last month. There's nothing spectacular here, people. There's nothing spectacular other than my useful thinking podcast took a big jump, which is why I also just didn't even feel enthused to come and show up and talk about this today, because I feel like I don't have anything to show for all this work I'm doing. And I don't mean that to sound negative, because I actually don't feel negative about it. I was talking with my son today on the phone and saying if I were actually earning based on what I feel like I'm creating, I would be making so much money. Like I've never been happier with the actual work I'm producing. That's really not the issue. I am tired in a good way. But it is a lot right now. And the thought of having to finish this podcast right now and then re-record a 45-minute episode of Useful Thinking when my voice is already like, bleh, is just like, okay, is the universe giving me a message here that I'm not supposed to record that episode for some reason? For some reason, the audio is working fine to record this episode. So, and also Mike and I have had some conversations this week about, the whole advice of follow what you love, follow what truly like brings you joy, and the money will follow. I don't know that that's necessarily true. I don't know that that's true for everybody. I think it's more follow what you truly want to do, follow what you love, and the money stops mattering so much. That's kind of how I feel like it's been for me. I was so focused on hitting certain revenue goals, and I don't even really care about that right now. I don't care about that. I'm more focused on growing the audience and continuing to put out work that I feel like is helpful for this world that we live in. That's truly what drives me. Okay, I can see that my energy is not where I really want it to be to record an episode. So I'm going to keep this short, concise. We're not going to try to stretch it out into any messages that I've learned this week, because I'm tired. And I know that the brain is not going to cooperate with putting together some kind of cohesive moral of the week when it's tired. But I think it's also more important to show up and do the thing than to have it be perfect. I really do believe that. So I'm going to take a moment to just celebrate myself right now for doing this, even though I feel like this is a B-level job, maybe a B minus. It's not that I haven't thought about what I want to say. It's just nothing. Nothing is coming up. Nothing really feels worth saying. So thank God it was a week where I had to just report the numbers, because at least I had something to talk about. And so we're just going to be okay with that. We're going to be okay with that. Okay. Even as I'm speaking, I'm fighting the little mental messages that are popping up and saying, shut up. You sound like a crazy person right now. Okay. That's where I'm cutting myself off. I sincerely hope nobody is listening to this one. And if you are, just know that the next episode has to be better than this. If you decide to come back. Oh my God, this has to be the worst episode I've ever recorded. Okay. Sending love and energy and all good things to anyone else out there who is building their life with intention. And like always, 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 even if it's a B level effort, just bet on yourself.